Okie dokie, off you go.
So we had someone asking, why are my plants looking a bit leggy, or why are they stretching? So we're going to go through a bit of a process of elimination. But before we go any further, make sure you like, subscribe to our channel. Also hit the notification button as well. That way when we upload future videos, you'll get notified and you can watch them at your leisure. So yeah, so really it's process of elimination really. So one of the most common ones is my plant getting enough light? So you'll see here on this sedum burrows tail that part of it was underneath a bench that we had, and you can already see that it's looking a bit leggy. So the leaves aren't very compact. You can actually see the stem of this leader here, I suppose you could call it that. Whereas other parts of the plant here, you can see they're getting more light and they're looking a bit more compact, especially this one here. Or a great example is this one here. So that's getting lots of light there. It's looking nice and compact, those leaves, and you can't really see any stretching of the plant. So maybe your plant's not getting enough light. So that's a good sign, is when you can really see a lot of the stem between the leaves. Yeah, that's a good sign that your plant is not getting enough light there. Another good example of this Echeveria lola here. So this one's had a little bit of a hard life. I don't know whether it's some snails or even some cheeky mice or rats even. So we have had issues with mice and rats earlier on in the year. So this could be some old damage. But you can see that this is actually growing underneath part of our benches. So you can see this is all shade here that it's been receiving. It's getting light from this angle here, and it's actually, the rosette is actually turning to try and get more light there. So that's a good sign that it's not getting enough light. Whereas this Lola here, getting a beautiful amount of light, and you can see how beautiful that rosette actually looks. So it's not kind of stretching up or turning to a certain side. It looks really nice there. Also, it can be, maybe having a bit of a fungal issue. So like powdery mildew can cause it too. So sometimes your pink jelly beans can be susceptible to powdery mildew and they'll strip the lower leaves. Or sometimes there's some cheeky fingers from kids can happen as well, where they come through and they just strip the leaves. So that can be another issue as well. So it's also good to, always monitor your plants to make sure that you haven't got any fungal issues. And mainly fungal issues will happen when there's high humidity and a lot of still air. So you want plenty of good ventilation there. Otherwise, if it's a really bad problem, you may need to use like a fungicide to treat that. Whereas you can see this one here, it's looking really nice. Lots of leaves there, nice and compact, not looking anywhere near as leggy as that there. So then, with this one here, we'd probably just chop it and try and encourage new growth to come and try and get it to look nice and compact like that one there. Otherwise, it could just be the actual plant itself. So Aeonium are very common to look very leggy, like this one here, as you can see. Even Echeveria. So we've got Echeveria bicolor variety bicolor here, and you can see it looks very leggy there. It's just they can just be a naturally leggy looking plant. So you would need to head chop them fairly regularly. That one there is looking really nice there, but you can already see this main.
So is this one the same as that one?
Yep, same plant. So this one's getting a lot more water, and you can see that it's actually looking a lot nicer here. So another reason is, are your plants getting enough water? Because even through dormancy, they do this as well. They will try to conserve as much water as they can. So they'll decide, okay, let's drop our lower leaves to try and hold as much moisture as we can on the top of the plant. So are your plants getting enough water? So it's very important to check that. Make sure that they're some varieties, especially when they're going through their growing season, that they are getting enough water. It can even just be, say, dormancy. Particularly, now that Aeonium, well, not now, but as it gets warmer, they'll go dormant. They'll close up their rosettes to try and conserve as much water as they can, but they'll also start dropping a lot of their lower leaves, and that's just a survival thing. So that's the same thing with watering as well. And Echeveria do it too through the winter. Particularly, you really notice it with your large frilly looking plants. They will strip a lot of lower leaves.
Canty does it bad too.
Canty does it bad, yeah. That's the most common one there, that you will see the lower leaves will fall off there. So yeah, so then if you want to try and keep it nice and compact like that one there, you would just head chop that there, and that's it really to look out for. So yeah, just making sure that, you know, are they getting enough light, are they getting enough water. It could just be the plant itself is just genetically like that. It just grows all, you know, can grow just leggy, particularly like your large growing echeverias. They tend to do it quite often as well. So, you know, normally through their growing season, you give them a good head chop, and hopefully you get lots of little pups appearing on there.
So where you chop it, all on the stem.
Yeah. So
We'll
yeah,
get
you
new
can
ones
chop it.
popping out.
You can chop it anywhere there, like you'll see. Oh, excuse me. So this one here, you can already see I've just taken tips out of it, and you can see lots of little buds, new little plants coming along that leader there.
So that will help keep it nice and bushy.
Yep, that's right.
Nice
So
and
you can do it a lot lower if you don't like a stem, and you should, particularly if they're going through their growing season. If they're going dormant, I would try to avoid doing any head chopping in that, because they're not going to grow or respond as quickly to that compared to if they're in their growing season. So that's it really. Yep. So also check for, you know, if you're having fungal issues with your plants. Generally now as it's getting warmer, we're getting a lot more air movement and high temperatures, so you shouldn't find as much fungal issues unless you're getting a lot of rain on so many days. That can also, you know, really bring it out too if the plants stay a bit moist, you know, a bit wet, the soil as well, and the leaves are touching the potting mix. That can also spark a bit of fungal issues as well. So, but that's it there. I hope that answers well, a lot of people's questions they may have on, you know, why their plants are looking leggy or a bit stretching. Yep, very easy to treat there. You can head chop them, give them more light and see how they respond. But if you do have one that is actually, you know, getting a fair bit of light, like say, a fair bit of shade, like this Lola here, I wouldn't just go straight away and just stick it in full sun, like 6-8 hours of sunlight. I would gradually increase that sunlight, because if you're going to put it, you know, if it's had a fair bit of shade on one side of the plant and then you decide to stick it in full direct sunlight, then you're highly likely going to get some burn on that plant there. So very important to gradually acclimatize them to more sunlight. And that's it. So I hope that helps. Please send through any comments or questions that you have. Hope you're all well, and we'll catch you soon. Cheers.
Get your chop and prop on.
That's it.